Abruptly the entire concept how we wish to stake our lives in the planet has lost out of vogue. Facebook's founding member Mark Zuckerberg says he wants to build a confidentiality-focused plate. Meantime, campaigners are precautionary how face acceptance technique poses a risk to our confidentiality while we are out and on. On the 1 week's technology camping, we ask if confidentiality, both on the internet and in the actual planet, has excited up everyone's order of business. You may include mind. Facebook's entire mission statement was on receive us to dwell our lives in social, or dividing is considerate, as the motto of the fictitious public print business in the Roman the Round had it. His schedule involves more than encrypt, more secure store of information so data is not detained in countries in impoverished accounting records on confidentiality, and less than constancy. In some speech, Facebook will pursue Snapchat in manufacturing your posts vanish of its plate following a time. He compares it in driving of the digital counterpart of a city box, a social area, to the digital counterpart of the residing chamber share in Just Shut Friends. Taking into account the episode of confidentiality scandals that include tattered the public print gigantic above the recent few year, the new attitude was connected to be met in cynic. Really, Mr. Zuckerberg by himself acknowledged openly we don't now include a powerful repute for house confidentiality protection services. And down there are lot of questions. How will Facebook balance sheet its aim of giver users more confidentiality via encrypt in the requirement to police force behavior such as kid misuse? The UK Mercy, the NSPCC has already charged Mr. Zuckerberg of take a amazingly gentleman relation to kid security. The UK Mercy told Earning late encrypt to all of Facebook's exchanging messages apps was transferring groomers a substantially untested capacity to goal family through repeated apps. Which is as well not precise is fair how Facebook's industry pattern, that depends on knowledge a lot on every of its users to goal adverts, will be struck if they are creature emboldened to stake less than of their lives. Dr. Martin Moore, of the Centre for the Research of Print, Communicating and Force at SARS School London, tells us how Mr. Zuckerberg may be looking to China for inspire. He points out how the exchanging messages facility WeChat, belonging by Tencent, has constructed all kinds of services on its plate in a fee framework. WeChat now has 900 million WeChat Pay users and conducted a cut each period they use it. He says the type of industry pattern for advertisement may see appealing to Facebook. Our some corner on the confidentiality question is the discussion above face acceptance technique. We trip the Tate Contemporary Art balcony in London for an occasion wherever family are shown how lightweight it is to stupid face acceptance cameras by set up wool or do up so they can no much longer see which they recognize as a humane person. The purpose, says Friedrich Kaltheuner of Confidentiality World, is double, to show how insecure the technique is and to issue if its use is relevant. She does not wish human beings to change their exterior. Our type is confidentiality is not on concealment. We wish human beings to be outdoor and translucent but on their regulation. But she says how clarity is proper unfeasible. Face acceptance is substantially identity at a range. We are all lathe in walk ID cards. She sees all kinds of issues as the technique is utilized more than wide, maybe in shops to verify personnel or smile or to display client behavior. I believe how's not a desired next. But we get a really various type of Zach Doffman, whose UK business digital impeding given face acceptance technique for the Britain Awards at London's O2. He says it treated so and serviced an essential goal in spot human beings seen as a capacity risk. I sense how the balance sheet of social agreement would be how it is relevant and proportional to use technique to try and discover those human beings and hinder them of receive to. But he says down there does requirement to be a social discussion on the occasion in that face acceptance can be utilized. And while I put to him how script on retailers monitoring customers, he says how would do him 2 cents really inconvenient. How's extremely creeping. He says out of checks and balances we are walking in lightly hazardous area for the next